Hello gang, Merlin Don on the mic, again with you with another Martial Deeds, aka Blackbeard video. In this video we will analyze some ranked games in the simulator. This is the deck list, and without any further ado, let's go to the first game, which will be against BY Luffy. Let me speed it up a little bit, and let's go. Of course, we choose to go second for two main reasons. The first one is to disrupt his game, and of course to be able to either play first hits or just to be on curve for our things. He plays a Garb, he draws a Monkey D. Luffy, Rocket Luffy. Now we are on our first turn. We KO his Garb for two main reasons. The first one is because if he attacks us, we will grab one card, and the second is because we don't need any unnecessary attacks to our life. In his second turn, what he does is, let's see, he attacks, of course, our dock, and we draw our second removal, which is a second Seagun, which is perfect. And then he plays a Flambe to start grabbing his life. On his second turn, that means when he's at 3 dawn, we don't need to use our leader's ability because he doesn't have anything on play which is really bad for us. So we don't need to trust any card in this case. Now he puts something to the top of his life. That means that he wants to grab this player. For us, that means that the best case is that we can attack him now, because he doesn't want to take this life. He wants to use a baby character of his in order to take this life. So the first thing that we do here is, of course, we attack him so that he gives us one counter, and this is exactly what he does. And then we start building our board by playing a Jesus Burgess. We're healthy, and now of course he's at his 5 dawn. On 5 dawn turn, he has some cards that he can play which have on play effects, like for example Sabo or his Luffy, 5-cost Luffy, and of course this is exactly that we black hole him. So this is a match in favor of Blackbeard, let's say. In his turn, he's now at 5 dawn. He can't use any on play ability, which sucks if you're BY Luffy. And then he plays 2 of his kids, the baby Sabo and Luffy, and then from Luffy he grabs his Luffy, but he can't KO our character here, or Jesus. His Monkey D. Luffy, this is an activate main effect, but in that case our Jesus cannot be KO'd by effects, which makes him the perfect opponent for this character. Then he attacks us, of course we take, we are still healthy, and we grab now, let's see, we have three cards. We grab here a Dog Q, because the fact that he can't play the on play effects means that we don't necessarily need the liberation here. On our trust we have enough cards to give Jesus now +1k, which is awesome, and as the game evolves, he will be buffed even more. So now we are at our 6th dawn, and of course what we can do here is now, or what we want to do here, is to control the board, and that's why we KO Luffy using our Seagun. And by doing that, we keep building our trust, and we keep buffing our Jesus, and then we play Lafitte, and with Lafitte we search further. Now we are at the point that we can say, okay, let's grab Liberation for two reasons. The first one is that we can use Liberation not only to KO characters, but also to negate cards. That means that if our opponent has a blocker, we don't necessarily need to use this card to KO this card, but we can use this card to negate the effects of this blocker. That means that when we play this card for 4-tone, this blocker is not anymore a blocker. It's just a vanilla card. Because these cards, Liberation or Black Hole, these cards negates all of the effects, the whole text of the card, which is really strong, and many people do not use this card's ability in that way. So let's go further in the game now. Now the Luffy is on his 7-tone, and he attacks us. He attacks our Lafitte with Flambe. Of course, we don't need to sacrifice any cards. We're still healthy. We still have our Jesus on field. He is on 2 life, and the thing is that we don't have any Blackbeard, any 10 cost deeds yet. But this is also something that we don't necessarily need in a match against Black Yellow. So now he played his Sabo, but he was Black Hole. That means that the Sabo's own play effect that makes him and the other characters immune to KO does not count. And this is great for us because now we can grab with Lafitte one Blackbeard in order to play him, for example, in our next turn. We are now at 8-tone, and then we use, of course, our C-Gun to destroy his Sabo, and we buff further our Jesus. And now we're good to go. We have here two things that we can do. The first one is we can play our Lafitte and search. The second one is, or let's say 3 things. The second one is to play a blocker, but we are still healthy, pretty healthy with 3 Dawn, and we have a counter in our hand. Or the third one is, of course, just to attach it to Dawn's to our leader and attack with 7 Dawn. But what we prefer to do here is to grab more cards because we will Black Hole him anyway, and we do have enough characters on our field. So we Black Hole him now. He's on his 9 Dawn. On the next turn he takes life, but we're pretty good here because he's on 1 life and he can't do anything at all. The other thing to do here, we could also keep our Liberation in case he decides to, let's say, play a blocker, and then we can negate the blocker. It's just, I just wanted to have a counter here instead of the Liberation, because on the late game here, the late game is still in favor of Blackbeard here. So we draw to another Liberation, and what we can do here, this is also great, and this is why I tell you guys, read what your cards do. Not only the main effect, but also the trigger. So the trigger here, if you hit this card, says negate the effects of up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters during this turn. So that means that this Luffy here, if I use the trigger, even if he takes his last life, he can't do anything, because this is a vanilla leader without any effects. And this is, of course, exactly what I will do here. I will negate his ability, his leader's ability, so he can't do anything. It's like, and I'm still on 2 life. I have counter in my hand. I have a Blackbeard that I can play here, and he decides to use all of his Dawn to Fury and attack me. Of course, I take that. Then what I do here is first I buff my Jesus even more by using the 2 cards that allow me that to do. Or I might do it on another game. So what I do here is I just count his cards. He has only 5 cards, and that's why I attack him with 11. He takes, and then of course I attach all of my other Dawn to my leader, and we win here. So other things that we could do here is, of course, we could use our stage, and also this is my aids in order to buff Jesus further with these two cards instead of playing the two dons, but that would buff him only 1k, and that's why I used better the two dons. And also play some other cards if he could counter the first hit, and the second play would be, for example, to play Martial Detits and negate his leader's ability, and also freeze a character of his and clear the board a little bit, or just poke him in order for him to give us some cards, and then you would have also a great blocker in your hand and counter. Or you could also play your Vasco and another character, and then clear his board a little bit, and also poke him with some hits in order to grab some cards, or almost all of his cards. So as you can see, there are many things here to do. And even if you would play that way, and he buffed himself next turn, then you could play, for example, your second Tits, then cost Tits on your turn. Then you would negate his effect, and he wouldn't be able to do anything at all, because he would be just a 5k leader, and you would be a leader, also 5k leader, but with a huge board here with Jesus, a buffed Jesus, another Tits, let's say, for example, a Boon or something like that. Yeah, he didn't stand a chance. So let's see a Mirror. Mirror is also under a lot of discussion here. How do you play against yourself, against another Tits? The key cards here is, for example, to find a Searcher. You don't need any Martial Tits from the start, because you search so much in this deck that you will eventually find one or more Tits. So at the start of the game, you just want to play on curve some characters. You want to stay as much healthy as possible, and also try to take as much possible life as you can from your opponent. So we play here our Lafitte. Unfortunately, he plays his Doc, which is a great play, because with Doc he KOs our Lafitte. We don't get to search anything at all. And also he takes a card, he grabs a card from KOing this Tokyo, which is great. We don't have anything else to play on our second turn. We don't need necessarily to take to attach all of our dons to our leader and attack him. So what we need here are buddies, and that's why you can play your 2Ks. You don't care. You want to grab some life at the start, to have some resources, let's say resources. And of course, when you play against yourself, against Blackbeard, you don't use your leader's ability at all, because there is no Blackbeard who plays on play abilities, cards with on play abilities. So he plays his second dog, and he attacks us. We take, and now we are at 5 Don. What we want to do here is, because he's still on 5 life and he has 6 cards, we want, of course, to grab as many cards as possible from his hand, and we don't want this dog to stay on the field. And we are also at 5 Don. That means on the next turn we are at 7 Don, and we can play something like Jack, for example. So we KO with Liberation his dog. We attach 1 Don to our Shiryu and attack him, and then we attack him also with our leader. And we want here for him to take at least one card, so 1 life, or gives us 1 counter. He hits here Ice Age. I don't play any Ice Age on this deck. I don't find it necessarily to play Ice Age. I also tried some variations with Ice Age, which is a great card, but I think that there are other cards that fit better in this deck. In that case, this also works on his favor, because with Ice Age has a trigger that can KO 3 or 3 cost or less character of your opponent, and that's exactly what he does here. He takes a life, but he KOs our character, so he manages somehow to keep our board also clear. but we are still good because we also control the board. Now it's his turn. He's at 6 tone. He play his Lafitte. He play his second Lafitte, and he draws 2 cards. He draws, let's see, another Lafitte, and also he draws a Marshall Ditit's 10 cost. So we know what's coming in his 10 cost curve. We are now at 7, and we can see that he has 2 Lafittes and the blocker. So we play our Jack, we recycle, then we KO his blocker, and then we KO one of his Lafittes. Now he's at 9 don, I think, no, at 8 don, excuse me, because he chose to go second. He won the dice roll. So until now, pretty much everything worked on his favor, let's say, even the dice roll. And this is also what he does here. He uses a liberation to nullify my Jack's ability. Then he uses his Lafitte to throw. This is my aids. Then he uses another Lafitte to use another to draw something else. I think that he used the liberation here just to build up his trust, keep building his trust, which is not the best thing to do here, but he's still healthy, and that might was the reason. So behind it. So let's see, we are at 2 life, he's at 4, but we have more cards and we have a big body on the field. But we know what is coming on the next turn, and this will be a 10 cost Tits. We don't have any Tits ourselves, and the first thing here to do is, of course, kill his 2 Lafittes, and we do that with our dog and with our leader. And then we keep building our field, our board, by using well, not yet. We first hit him with Jack. Of course, he hits another Ice Age from his life, and he KOs our dog for free. But dog gives us also another card, and this is Lafitte. We use Lafitte to search and grab. At last grab our Marshall Ditits. So we do have something to respond to. So we grab our Tits. This is our first Tit, but we can now we have a Lafitte, we have a Jack, and we have a Van Ager. And even if he's on his 10 dot curve, and even if he plays his Tits, we have a better board here. So he attacks me with his leader. I decide, of course, to counter. I don't need anything here, and of course this is the turn where you either keep building your board or you play your Tits. So I see here that he has a 10 cost character on the field, and we are still healthy. We are not at 1 or 0 life. So I first decide to attack him. Because, you know, it's a Blackbeard. He wouldn't dare to block my 5k with his Blackbeard, with his 10 cost body, because I have the Jack on the field, and he would be afraid to either lose almost all of his cards to counter my attack, or to lose his Marshall Ditits here. So first I attack him with my leader, and I make him believe that I will play eventually 10 cost Marshall Tits, but I'm still thinking here if I want to KO his Tits or play my own Tits. But I have a feeling here that that another Tits will come. But of course, even if another Tits come, then I have the resources to KO this second Tits. So what I do here is I negate his blocker, and then I keep my characters here, because I want to have some characters in the field. I don't want him to attack me yet. And what he does here is, of course, he plays his second Blackbeard. So now I know what he has, and it is time for us to respond, because we are both on on 2 life, but we have a better board. first we search with Lafitte, and at that point we grab a dog Q to have another way to KO something, not only with Zack, because Zack is also in 8k body, which is also great, if you ask me. And then we use our Laboon to do a -4 to his tits. Then we use our Van Agur to do another -3. Then we use our Stronger to do a -2, and then we can use our dog to KO it. The reason why I did that is because our Zack is, because of his tits, is nullified. That means that he can't attack, and we also can't use his ability, his main activate main ability, because his this card is nullified, is negated. So all of the effects are negated. But we managed to clear one of his Blackbeards. We still have our blocker, we still have enough cards, and we still have an attack to do with our leader, which we also do. And he takes, because we still have our Blackbeard. Now he's at 1 life, we are still healthy at 2 life, which is great, and we have a full board. We have a Laboon, we have our Van Agur, and what he does here, of course, he plays another Tits. He just plays another Tits here. He negates our blocker, he nullifies our leader, he attacks with his leader, we block that, and then he keeps attacking us. He attacks us also with his 12k character. What I do here is, of course, I take, because I don't really care. As we have a full board of characters, he has only one blocker here, which is his 10 cost kid. And what I do here, of course, is -4 with Laboon, -3 with my Van Agur. Now he's at -7, and then I KO it with Zigan, and I have enough time to attack him at this point. So the first thing to do here, because I still have a blocker, you know, and he played 3 Titses. So the first thing that I do here is I make sure that he's at 0 life at this point. So I attack him with my Zack 14k, and then with my leader. And what he does here is crazy, because you know what, he plays his 4th Tits. So he has played 4 Tits in this game. So he had all 4. But the thing is that if you play Tits, that means that your leader has only a 5k attack. And if you have one life remaining and only one more Tits to attack, then this means nothing. This means nothing at all. And now I have a full board. Full board, and he has 1 or 2 blockers. So he decides here, he knows that he can't win here, and he decides, okay, maybe he doesn't have the counter to defend Zack, but of course I do, and now it's too late for him, because he has only 1 blocker, and we have so many characters. We do exactly the same. We use our Laboon, we use our Van Agur, we use our Zack, and we KO his active blocker, and of course then we attack him with full power with 15k, and he can't do anything about it. So in mirror matches, what is important is your board. It doesn't matter if you play all of your Titses. So this guy played 4 Titses, but he couldn't win. He couldn't win because his opponent. So me, in that case, I had a full board of characters. 2 of them could reduce, the power of a character, so the cost of a character, and 2 of them could KO a low cost character, so a 1 cost and 3 cost. And of course I had a big blocker on the field, so 1 Tits. I played only 1 Tits and he played 4 and he still lost. Keep that in mind when you play mirrors. So for the last game, let's take a Shanks game, because you will see Shanks a lot in your locals and also in regional. It's a great deck. We win here the dice roll, we choose to go second, and I can see here that I have 1 Tits, that I have one Agur, I have 1 Jesus, I have 1 Blocker, and I was like, okay, you know what, we go second. This could be nice because I can play 1 Blocker on the first turn. I could possibly play Jesus on the second or something else, and this is exactly what I do here. I play Blocker, I play Jesus, I take the first hit. I'm now at 4 life. He attacks me again, but I you know what, I don't want to go too fast, too low on my life, so I decide here to counter the first hit and also to block the second one, because I want to stay healthy here. We are now at 6 done. The first thing to do here is of course to hit his character, and then he uses his ability to our Jesus, but we don't want to lose our Jesus yet. So what we do here is we just keep building here. We keep building our trust. We use our searcher to find another Jesus, and we play our Jesus, and then we use our stage to search further, grab another Blackbeard, another 10 cost hits, and of course we black hole him. When you play against Shanks, I would recommend you to start black holing him when he's about to reach his 7 down curve, because then he can play nasty things like Beckman and like such things. But before that, you don't need to trust necessarily a card to black hole him. So I would say Shanks is pretty good because you just need to black hole him at 7 cost, and when he's at 10 down anyway, it's also not always recommended to black hole him. So you can also, when he's at his 10 down, you can also keep, let's say, the cards if you need them, because most of the times he wants to play 10 cost Shanks, which has Rush and just a generic effect, and this card does not have any on play effect. Or maybe he wants to play, let's say, a Goldie Roger, which is also the same, Rush, nothing on play, or he wants to play his Dragon, also Rush character. So you get what I mean. So on his turn, he decides to attack us here with 5k. I want to stay healthy still, so I counter that, and then he plays also a nasty card. So this is the new gate because it's activate main, it's not on play, which sucks for us. Yeah, but what can you do? And he's still on his on 5 life, but he has only 6 cards, which is great for us. So what I decided here to do is, of course, to black hole him, and then I was like, okay, you know what, I will bring you down to either 3 or 2 life. So I attack first with 8, he uses his leader's ability and he counters, but he's now down on only 4 cards, and then I attack him with 10k and 10k. So he's now at 3 life, he attacks me. Unfortunately, I have only bricks in my hand, and he keeps attacking me because he wants to rush me down, and I can understand that because he's still healthy. He's still healthy, and I'm just now on my 10 turn curve. First, we use our stage to recycle and also to buff our Jesus further. We grab a card just to black hole him again and keep building up our trust. It's exactly what we do here, and now I was like, okay, you know what, this is the time negate your add-on new gate, and also make him not able to attack me. Establish a blocker, of course. I'm still healthy with 1 life. Negate also your ability, because always when you are on your tendon and you are about to play a teach, do not first attack with your leader and then play your teach, because you want to negate his leader's effect first. So first play your teach, negate his leader's effect so he can't do a -1k to you, and then you can start poking him. So this is exactly what I'm doing here. Attack him for 5, he counters, and then I bring him down to 1 life with the hits of my 2 Jesuses. So I have 3k, and when he attacks me with 7, the first thing that I do here is, of course, I counter that, because I can see that he attached to Don, so he can play Roger. So like I said, always pay attention at what your opponents do, and keep in mind which cards does this leader play, for example. So what he could do here is would be, for example, to attack with his leader with 5k. He would still have 10k down, and with his dragon, and if I was about to take this life, then he could play for 10 down a Roger, but he attaches 2 down to his character, and I know for a fact he leaves 8 down open. The only thing that he can play here is a dragon, nothing else, because he's black hole. So I counter the first hit, and then he has, of course, a second hit from with his dragon. Of course, I take that because he can't Roger me, and the only thing that he can play now, of course, is like I said, dragon, or maybe establish blockers. It's also a possibility, but I don't think that he would do that in such a case, because I have 3 characters on the field, and 2 of them are 2 nasty Jesuses. And as you can see, I could read his play. The only thing that he does here is, of course, he plays his dragon. I attack him with my 12k character, and of course he surrenders because he can't do a thing here. I was about here to attach all of my dons to Jesus, and as you can see, he had a Roger. He did have a Roger. So always pay attention on how your opponents plays, because then you will be able most of the times to let's say read what he's about to play, and then you will adapt your game accordingly. Okay guys, so this was it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Drop me a like, drop me a comment, tell me what you liked in this video, what you didn't like, what you do differently, what else you want me to do, and yo, thank you very much again. Peace, bye.